people who think economically. So here's the question. Which states in our country, the United States, have great GNP? It is California, right? It is Atlanta. It is New York. Those different states fund our federal government. And I may be getting too deep. Those states fund our country. There are a ton of states that get those federal funds, but they don't have a positive GNP, positive GDP. They're not making any money. They're being subsidized. Now, those states that are making money have less crime. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. Those states have healthier people, mentally and emotionally. Say what you want. Those states have all that. But what's the number one ingredient? People don't know this. The number one thing is that they're diverse.
Wow.
They are diverse in business. They're diverse in education. They're diverse in policing. They're diverse in everything. So what this means is the economics change when everybody can make money.
Absolutely.
It changes who lives, who dies. It changes the price of your house, your gas. It changes everything. The divorce rate are down in those states. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the Commonwealth are for those people, number two, that just think economically. If you want to live a happy life, let everybody make money. That's it. If you want to live a great life, lower house payments, less insurance, let everybody make money. Don't take anyone's opportunity. So number two is the people who just thinking economically.
Yeah.
Throw all that other stuff out the window and help people make money. These other states also, people from around the world are trying to move to those states.
Yep.
People want to move to certain states because why? Their uncle from Mexico is there. Their Ugandan cousin is there. The university there is allowing different students in. So now the smartest and the greatest people in the world are trying to move to those states.
Yes.
So number three, if you're thinking advantages and being a safe place and you're bringing the best and the brightest, I know I'm taking a minute here, the best and the brightest from around the world come to your state. That's why it's so important that we understand who belongs here.
Yes.
The people that belong and those who want to get wealthy move to those states. Number four. So if you want to get wealthy, if you want to be healthier mentally, emotionally, psychologically, then the Commonwealth is the only idea that will work.
Yep.
It's the only one.
I would add.
I'm curious. I'm curious to what you would add to this.
So for the people who have a vision bigger than themselves, but don't know how to navigate it or want to collaborate with other people. Because so I've spent thousands of hours facilitating brainstorming sessions, ideation sessions.
Wow.
For those who don't know me, I'm a consultant that helps Fortune 500 companies innovate and change and transform for the future. So I get to spend time crafting these conversations where we have the best minds in the room. And I can tell you, to emphasize your point, the best minds in the room are when you have a diversity of thought and backgrounds.
That's the number 5.
Yeah. So we want people who can think bigger.
Stay there, though.
Yeah.
Stay there, because that was my number 5. Explain what you just said about diverse people in the room solving the same problem. And just for what we're doing, look into that camera, because this is just important.
Yeah.
You can't solve a real big problem with everybody in the room who think the same.
Exactly. Because when you have everybody in the room who thinks the same, you get the same answer over and over and over again. And all you end up doing is just checking the box and delivering a new project, a new initiative, a new nonprofit, something that doesn't actually move the needle. If you really want to make transformation and change happen, you have to do things differently. That takes different minds, different backgrounds, diversity of thought, diversity of people in the room. And what that does is it eradicates groupthink. It helps people to challenge each other, to challenge maybe what their paradigms are or their blind spots. And you get much richer answers.
Okay.
And you have the ability to make those things happen easier
Okay.
because of the people in the room.
Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
Okay. What would a person have to give up to be in the room like that? What would they have to really deal with in their own psyche, their own mind
Yeah.
to be there? What would they have to give up or be like? And then what would they gain if they were able to give up whatever it is that's keeping them out of that diverse room? What would I have to deal with in my own life? And what could be the positive outcomes if I did say, okay, I'm going to go along with this diverse room?
The thing that you have to give up is your ego. It's this idea that you know everything just because you've had 20 years of experience. It's the idea that there's only one right way of doing things. You have to be open-minded enough to explore what has never been done. And there is a difference between wanting to do it and being willing to do it.
Wow.
So when I talk to leaders, the biggest thing is when they're trying to make a transformation happen, they have to look in the leadership mirror and look at themselves and say, how did my actions get me to where I am today? And what does that mean? What do I need to change about myself to transform for the future? That is such a powerful question to ask yourself. And we want people in the Commonwealth who can answer that question and then not only want to change, but are willing to do the hard work of changing. If you've ever set a goal, a New Year's resolution, you know that the hardest thing to do, you can get the workout outfit, you can get the fun shoes, you can get the gym membership. But the hardest thing to do is to change your mind to show up and jump in the pool or jump on the treadmill. I've swam every day, every other day for the last year. So I can tell you that that is exactly what has to happen. You have to change your mind. We want people in the Commonwealth who can be open to other people's ideas, who can be open to understanding that there is power in having diversity of thought and expertise and gifts in the room, and to lean on those people for their things and to focus on what they're good at, and who are willing to make changes happen.
What do we get? What can I get after I've gone through everything you just said to change my sort of mind? I'm not the smartest person in the room. I know now, I realize I only see from one dimension. There are other people sitting on the other side of the elephant that sees something else. Yeah. How can I benefit from that? What do I get if I deal with everything you just said I need to deal with? Do I get anything at the end?
Yeah.
Does it help me? Describe that for me.
There is nothing more rewarding than transforming yourself and seeing and looking back and seeing who you were and who you've become. You get a wealth of new opportunity. The world shows up in a different way when you start thinking differently in your mind. Your business starts to operate differently because you're changing first. Everything shifts for you. And you begin to see things not as threats or as risks, but as opportunities. And then the whole world opens up. So there is so many great things that come from changing your mind. That's why we want people who are open-minded in the Commonwealth.
Yep.
The other thing I would say that we want is that I know you and I talk about this all the time. There's a lot of divisiveness happening in our world right now.
Yes.
But we've been talking, we think that's like the 10% loudest.
Yes.
And we're hearing in the news and on social media, the 10% loudest people.
Yep.
But there are so many people. There's 90% of people that we believe just want to collaborate or agree on something.
Yes. Communicate with me on this particular channel. Subscribe to it.